Now, breaking tonight, explosive new recordings from inside fake news CNN being released by Project Veritas, exposing fake news frauds like network chief Jeff Zucker like never before. Now, earlier this morning, Project Veritas's founder, CEO, James O'Keefe, he called into CNN's morning editorial call. And, well, you would say Humpty Dumpty's boss, Mr. Potato Head, didn't know what was coming. Take a look.
You're unmuted.
Hey, Jeff Zucker, are you there? Hey,
yes.
This is James O'Keefe. We've been listening to your CNN calls for basically 2 months, recording everything. Just wanted to ask you some questions if you have a minute. Do you still feel you're the most trusted name in news? Because I have to say, from what I've been hearing on these phone calls, I don't know about that. I mean, we got a lot of recordings that indicate you're not really that independent of a journalist.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. So everybody, in light of that, I think what we'll do is we'll set up a new system.
Project Veritas tonight released the first installment of these recordings. First up, we have a CNN field producer and Zucker talking about covering the president's decision to not yet concede the race, suggesting CNN should frame the story by invoking the 9/11 terror attacks. We always let you decide. Here's the video.
The 9/11 report talks about one of the problems was that the trouble that was brewing got lost during the transition. So if you want a good concrete example of what happens when you don't have a good transition, go look at the Twin Towers.
Yeah. So I think that's an important point. I think it was discussed a little bit yesterday in terms of national security. I think it's really important to raise again.
Now, do you ever remember fake news CNN talking about the national security implications of the Obama administration? You know, the deep state using Hillary's dirty Russian misinformation dossier to spy on candidate Trump, President Trump, his administration, the biggest abuse of power corruption scandal in history. No, they're the ones that peddled the conspiracy theories, the Russian disinformation dossier, perpetuating years and years of a Russia hoax. What about those national security concerns? They are glaring in their bias and their utter disgusting hypocrisy. It couldn't be more obvious, and it gets worse. Because next up, October, President Trump recovering from the coronavirus, Zucker's now telling his staff they need to resist normalizing the president and to not normalize what Zucker calls desperate behavior. Does this sound like objective news to you?
I think we cannot normalize what has happened here in the last week with Trump and his behavior. This is a president who knows he's losing, who knows he's in trouble, is sick, maybe is on the after effects of steroids or not, I don't know, but he is acting erratically and desperately, and we need to not normalize that.
And Joe hiding, that was normal. Lastly, weeks ago, Zucker instructing his staff to target Senator Lindsey Graham, saying the network needed to, quote, go well after Lindsey Graham. Target the guys we don't like. Take a look.
Frankly, if we've made any mistake, it's that our banners have been too polite, and we need to go well after Lindsey Graham. There is a lot of news out there, and Lindsey Graham really deserves it.
CNN responded claiming that O'Keefe may have committed a felony, but didn't offer any specifics or cite any laws allegedly violated. Here now, he's the CEO. He is the founder, Project Veritas. James O'Keefe is with us. All right. Every time you've been sued, has anyone done so successfully?
No, Sean, we've won every single lawsuit at Project Veritas, and I know they said, quote, this is CNN Communications. Legal experts say this may be a felony. We have legal experts at Project Veritas, and we think Jeff Zucker is just very mad and embarrassed here for what we have exposed.
Now, you're going to be on this program all week, and we're going to release more tapes every week so we can focus in on what you're going to release every day. Now, they peddled this Russia lie for 3 years over there. They never apologized. They never corrected the record, and they reported fake, phony news and advanced conspiracy theories. They have stalkers of the Fox News channel, and we're getting lectured by them. Is this a news organization to you?
No, Sean. This is something that doesn't shock people, but confirms a lot of suspicions. To see the president of a media conglomerate barking orders at his reporters and journalists, telling them what to cover, what not to cover, that's not anything resembling journalism I know. I run an organization with a few dozen reporters. They come to me with facts. They're not yesing me. In fact, they're challenging me. And what Jeff Zucker is doing on these phone calls is telling people what the story is, telling them what not to cover. This is propaganda. And I think in a country where citizens have to exercise their rights and duties, the consent needs to be informed. This is manufacturing consent. And we've never actually seen it fly on the wall. You can actually hear the president of the company instruct his vice presidents, instruct his reporters what the narrative ought to be. This is the farthest thing from journalism that I know. And I think that CNN owes an apology to the people. I mean, this is disgraceful. And this is the first time we've actually seen it.
Donation
you can actually
to everything Biden. It looks like they had picked a side. They picked Joe Biden's side. All right, the way you do things, you have a lot more coming. How long did you record these morning calls?
Oh, I told Zucker this morning when I live streamed the call, I said I've been doing this for 2 months, and he was kind of shell-shocked by that. We've been recording for weeks and weeks, Sean. It's Christmas, December 1st. It's going to be like, I guess, an advent calendar. We're going to be releasing tapes every day, and we have more tapes tonight, tomorrow, and it's going to be, this is the brave whistleblower insider who came to us with this information, Sean, and we encourage more people inside media enterprises to blow the whistle on the corruption inside big media.
All right, we look forward to installment 2 tomorrow.